All right, everyone. Supposedly, the White House sent a very kind letter to North Korea the other day, and Kim Jong-un got it. And then I guess their state services, their state media said, "Oh, our glorious leader is seriously considering it." Like, without saying what the proposals were. I guess the idea is to restart negotiations. I'm hoping that this is true. This is how you have to do things in North Korean politics. A lot of it is nothing more than behavioral finesse, and Trump is a master of this because of his boardroom skills. He's gotten more accomplished than the last 5 presidents on the issue of Korea, and we're closer to peace now than at any other time in at least a couple of decades. So I feel better. Like when you sleep at night, know that there's a slightly lower chance of a nuclear war with Trump at the helm than most of the other presidents we've had. Like, he handled Iran expertly. He got Iran to withdraw a general and use him as a cop-out for, probably purposely firing on a U.S. drone. He got them to take the easy way out and avoid conflict. Trump could have just saved the Western world, and he's not going to get any fucking credit for it either. Even some of the black pillars that otherwise would be like wearing MAGA hats are like, well, he's doing this for Bolton and stuff like that. And it's like, fucking shut up about things you don't even know about. People who are analyzing this and saying, no, don't worry, it's probably fine, this is posturing, have been almost invariably right for the last couple of years. All of these people constantly looking for an excuse to say that Trump is sold out to multinationals. Trump is really a neocon warmonger. You've been wrong continuously. Almost inevitably, you have been wrong every step of the way. At what point do you say, maybe I should change up the way I'm analyzing things? Anyway, onward to Korea. I still have hope that there will be peace there. One important thing, though, is I want to see Trump reelected, because if we get the chances, I think I said this when the negotiations began, the chance of him in a single term being able to make peace in the Korean Peninsula are very, very small. But he's already set the stage for continued negotiations. The ROK and DPRK are now on much better terms than they have been probably since before the Korean War. At least insofar as they're concerned, relations have thawed considerably. Since they are the major players in Korea, since they are North and South Korea, that really takes off the table the idea of war for the most part. The U.S. being in the region remains an inflammatory thing. The only reason we do is to safeguard the ROK in Japan, largely, from the possibility of aggression. It's just like Chinese power in the region projected on the border is primarily to safeguard, well, in that case, I think it's more to safeguard against millions of North Korean refugees if things fall apart, but also to try to stave off the possibility of a U.S. advance into North Korea. If we can get to a point, it's like denuclearization. Trump pointed this out like months ago. He said, well, that's basically a second step. We need to end the war first. Basically, it'd be nice to have peace, and then we can talk about all this other stuff. That's a massively good idea. Now, the neocons hate it. They want to say, well, in order to have peace, North Korea needs to disarm everything, dismantle its military, allow the world in to do whatever it wants, basically bend over backwards and take it. That's never been a realistic goal, though. It's never been realistic that that's going to happen. What you need to do is get into a situation where the U.S., South Korea, and North Korea and China come to a mutual understanding that it wouldn't be in anyone's best interest to have a war. There are other bigger fish to fry. It would be nice for Korea to be a peaceful place, and that certain things have to happen for that to occur. Denuclearization is not one of them. The ROK has never said, hey, North Korea, we won't sign a peace agreement until you denuclearize. The only people who have done that are neocons within the U.S. Hell, Clinton gave them their nuclear program to begin with. He didn't give a fuck. Then he said, whoops, I did an oopsie. By the way, Clinton never getting unfondly remembered by the Democrats for accidentally doing that. What a foreign policy gaffe that was. People say, oh, the Clinton era was peaceful, the Clinton era is prosperous and great. He literally started the modern problem of a nuclear North Korea. He jump-started their nuclear abilities by at least a good decade. Look, he probably would have gotten invaded even by Obama or something if he hadn't done that. Bush probably would have gone into North Korea, but then they got the A-bomb and we decided that it was a bad idea. It would have been a bad idea before, but you understand. I'm hoping for peace. Like, there's no reason. This is an old war dating the fucking 50s. Most of the people who fought in it are dead. We've got an era of decent relations right now. Like, power mains continue to be exhumed and returned to their countries. There is still negotiation going on. Like we've semi-normalized relations between the two Koreas. Why not get in on the party? I don't sit up at night and worry about North Korea attacking the U.S. It's not going to happen anyway. Maybe we should just stop antagonizing each other. I know that sounds pie in the sky, but if this is true, if the White House sent a letter saying, hey, You know, you're quite a nice person. I'd like to meet with you again. Let's negotiate some more. Yeah, that's a good thing. Trump should absolutely push it. But you have to have a cool down period in between pushes. That's the other thing, is you need to have time, a breather between attempts. You know, if one falls flat, like the Hanoi conference largely did, you can't immediately go back in a week later and say, oh, let's have another conference, because things are still fresh in people's mind. Now, Kim Jong-un reportedly, I don't know how true this is because the tabloid media is so sensationalistic. Didn't they claim that the negotiators that were there in Hanoi all got executed? That would, by the way, be a show of respect for the United States, oddly enough. Despite how it may sound on the surface, yeah, it would show that Kim Jong-un at least is trying to pretend to be serious about negotiating. Of course, it could be just pretense. My hope is that that happens. You know, Korea has a lot of resources, and the Korean people are smart and industrious and stuff. There's no reason for there to be a war. What's the war even about again? Most of them probably don't even remember. Is it about partisan struggle between two different political ideologies? No, ultimately it was just a proxy conflict between U.S. and Chinese interests. That's really what it boiled down to, and the U.S. and China have largely held to that, although over time have developed better relations. Look, we and China are some of each other's biggest trading partners. Why the hell should we keep this proxy war going bullshit? It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't have any problem. No Korean ever did anything bad to me, so. Nor to anybody else, really, that's alive. Like, you know, try to find a Korean War veteran that still has a stick up their ass about the other side. I doubt that you'll be able to find many. Most of them are probably like, oh, yeah, it'd be nice to see peace before I fucking end up getting put in my casket. That's what I would hope. Like, if I had been in war or something and that war kept going and I'm like 70, 80 years old, I'd be like, what the fuck did I even fight for? It was never won. The Korean War technically never ended. There's a ceasefire agreement. There's no ultimate peace agreement. Peace has never been achieved. It'd be nice. You know, they've reconnected the rail and road lines too between the two Koreas. It's basically one negotiation away from free movement between the two Koreas anyway, so that people can see their estranged families for the first time in half a century. Wouldn't that be nice? I would think, by the way, it would be a major diplomatic win for the United States if that were to happen. It'd be a major cessation of conflict in one of the most important flash zones in the world that we are seen by part of the world as being a bully in. Yes, that would be good for our image around the world. We need to do some imagery building, actually, to tell the truth. Again, in politics and in diplomacy, perception over reality sometimes. Kim Jong-un could be a total backstabber. Deal with it. You know, do something about it. That's about all. Peace out.